Hello and a very warm welcome. I'm Himanshi Tiwari, and here's a thought: your next big win might not come from a new product, but from your people. Work has changed fast. Tech isn't just a tool anymore, it's reshaping how we hire, how we grow, and how we keep talent. Now, we are not just filling jobs, we are spotting high potentials, predicting attrition, building skills for roles that don't even exist yet. And skills, they are the new currency. That's why the Economic Times and LinkedIn are bringing you talent in talks, real conversations with leaders who are changing the way work works. Today, I am with Anusha Malana from Zepto and Jyoti Dadlani from LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Now, Anusha is the head of talent acquisition at Zepto, and Jyoti is regional head West India at LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Now, welcome, ladies, for joining us today. We know that you have seen what it takes to scale fast and smart without losing culture. And this is what we're going to talk about today. Now, Jyoti, over to you.
Perfect. So thank you so much for joining us, Anusha. I think apart from defining the quick commerce category, I feel like the growth Zepto has seen has also been really, really quick. I think from the just from 4 years ago to defining this category to now pretty much maybe being on a path to IPO, it's been a really, really interesting journey. In fact, there's been so much press coverage, so much conversation of it. So first, I must say congratulations that it has been a huge defining moment, I think, in a long time where a categories got defined. So I want to say congratulations first. But what I'd love to know a little bit more about is what's been your talent philosophy, right? Like when you're growing fast, you're kind of really building a team so fast. So what's been that core talent philosophy as you've grown from this startup to unicorn to now being IPO ready?
Yeah. So, Zepto has always been talent obsessed. We have always known that talent and people is something that build businesses. And the philosophy from day one has been very clear that we go after the top 5% and, keep getting the best talent out there in the market and groom the best talent and, grow the best talent internally. So we have a lot of ingrown or let's say homegrown leaders as well. So there are two things to it, of course. Core prioritization when you're growing very quickly is very important, Jyoti. So not everything can be on priority because sometimes speed trades off for quality. So I think we need to prioritize which where we need speed and where we need we have to take time and get the right talent. That's something that we are able to do brilliantly whenever there is a massive scale up that's required. I think we have staffed the business on time so that talent does not become a blocker for any of the scale up. At the same time, we have also had our eye on talent density very strictly, where constantly we are doing our surveys and constantly doing our research, talent research as well, so that we are going after the right talent pool that is building our business. I think this is a philosophy that we will hold on to. At the same time, now I think, as you rightly mentioned, AI is a hot thing. So how do we, get the right talent that is, AI capable? Is something that we are working on. Where are the pockets which industries are innovating and how do we hire from them?
It's interesting. I know you said industries. So is there a thought process on how are you looking at it from a skill standpoint? Is it more focused on industries, experience, etc.? Or how are you approaching you're right, like jobs are changing, the skills required for a job are changing and they'll continue to accelerate, right? Like the change. So how do you think about those talent pools? I know you brought it up saying that, the right talent pool. So is it more industry focused? Is it more skill focused? How are you thinking through it for Zepto?
I think, as I mentioned, people build businesses, right? You follow business. Which business is making a dent out there in the market?
Hmm.
And who's innovating and who's growing massively, right? So I'm anybody who's growing massively is innovating and also staying ahead of the technology curve.
Hmm.
So you constantly being apprised of this talent or let's say industry evolution. You can also put a talent lens to it and understand, how are they grooming their talent, how are they hiring, and go after the right talent pool. That way, that is one way of doing it. And also in-house, building a learning and development function, and equipping our department or different functions to be AI ready. That's something that dual-edged approach is something that we are looking at.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up such an important point, right? Of course, apart from talent obsession, that balance between speed and quality, extremely important. I know either we find companies obsessing with either quality or with speed, and that balance, I think it's great to see that you figured that out. Um, I know that we work with you from a LinkedIn Talent Solutions perspective. So how have we kind of helped maybe in that balance of, speed, quality, etc., or helped you kind of move the needle in any way? So I'd love to kind of hear if there's any example or anything that you can share that's helped lead to that balance.
The Zepto recruiters are very, very active on LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
we have two things. One is our professional, accounts where there are slots of jobs, and then the recruiters themselves are branding Zepto and different departments very well. So they're organically able to raise a lot of applications on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is one of our core platforms from where we recruit, and I've always thought, or I was under the impression that maybe lateral corporate and leadership talent is something that I can get from LinkedIn. But I think my team has proven me wrong, where we have been able to attract a lot of talent at junior level as well, freshers, and junior operations talent as well on LinkedIn. So it has become a very core platform for us, and it has also helped us apart from branding the business. Whenever we are launching a city, I think the kind of branding that we do on LinkedIn helps us recruit faster, because the news is spreading faster to all these folks. In that way, I think LinkedIn has been very crucial in our talent strategy. In mails and the acceptance rate and the amount of clicks that we get is also very high in
Yeah.
LinkedIn. So it's been a very core platform for us, and we use it very well. That's what I can tell you.
Thank you for sharing that. I think the takeaway was we spend hours trying to explain people that, the dynamics of the platform is changing, new generations are coming into the platform. So thank you for sharing the fact that, there is busting that myth rather that there is talent of all
Yeah.
tenure available on the platform. So thank you for sharing that. But I know, as you said, attraction, right, from a talent standpoint. What's the strategy to maybe, grow and retain such high performing talent? Because of course it's the top 5% talent that's coming in. So how does Zepto really think about, you know, retaining as well as growing that talent? Like, is there something around mobility internally? I know you said there's a lot more movement of leadership, into leadership roles, but what's the growth path? Because I also realize with newer generations coming in, everybody wants growth fast. So how
Yeah.
does that work for you internally?
The thought of the company is very clear. We are very meritocratic, and we reward the folks who make impact. And it's right to do so as well. If the company is growing so massively, I think the talent should move up as well. Apart from that, it's also creates a good opportunity to folks for folks to reinvent, or let's say move horizontally as well, right? Not just vertically, but horizontally, and explore lot more other skills departments, and that makes it easy for us to retain the talent. At the same time, I think it makes it very clear that, hey, if you are creating an impact, and if you're directly contributing to the business, and the company is standing up for you and promoting you further as well. So that's a DNA that the company has been built on, um, and that's a very natural way of retaining talent, Jyoti, if you ask me. And at the same time, ensuring that the business is moving at a massive pace. So I hope I was
Yes,
able to
definitely
answer
you
you.
need to know the secret for attracting that level of talent. So maybe that's a conversation you and me have.
Yeah.
I know you also mentioned, AI. You're thinking about AI from a talent acquisition perspective, broader initiative from an AI standpoint for the whole company. What areas, maybe from an AI standpoint, have you seen maybe that have impacted you from a talent acquisition perspective? Have you seen any areas? Are there anything you're tracking? Is there anything that you're kind of, hey, like this is something we can do faster? So any examples or any strategies that you're implementing to kind of bring AI to the world of TA?
Of course, I think all the tools that we are using are on the same journey as well. So now you see AI assistants in most of the platforms, and the recruiters have the liberty of training their own AI assistants to screen better, screen faster, and increase the accuracy of the right profile that you end up getting, right? So it's
Mm.
everything is happening at a record speed. Apart from that, that's one thing on screening and sourcing. Apart from that, also uh, from talent branding, content creation, and AI assistants who basically summarize the entire interview and give you a summary of the interview, so that recruiters don't have to sit and do that and track it, right? So there is AI at every step in recruitment, and I think people are innovating. Different platforms are also innovating and coming up with great features. That's where we use AI quite a bit. And apart from that, one thing, both Zepto and every department in Zepto is insanely data obsessed, and that trickles down to every department. So we have automated the entire platform and data analytics for talent acquisition. So now we are thinking towards building intelligence, and how can we build an in-house GPT that kind of makes it very easy for our stakeholders to understand what's happening in their department. They don't have to go through multiple sheets or multiple dashboards. They can just ask a question, and that will be available for them. That's something that we are building towards in this year.
Yeah, speaking of agents, I think currently we are testing a hiring assistant right now. The idea is that recruiters spend a lot of work, spend a lot of their hours on manual tasks, which
True.
might be searching, updating stuff on ATS, etc., etc. So we are trying to see how do we simplify that process, and really build it, automate it in the context of LinkedIn so it becomes easier. I know that you're probably using a lot of our AI features, but soon you'll see that agent also hopefully come into market. At the moment, it's being tested by different customers, so we also build the right product. But exciting times ahead for sure because we are seeing AI proliferate everywhere. So
Absolutely. I am personally very thrilled to see how this next wave of technology is going to look like, and how our jobs are going to look like, how our, world is going to look like in next 2-3 years. I'm really excited.
yeah, I think I internally at least the report I've read why we work, how we work, and what we work on is going to change, right? So yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm sure that will evolve and we'll all see our jobs hopefully get enhanced
Yeah,
with AI. But it's great that from a TA standpoint and even from an entire organization standpoint, there's an entire unlock happening in that front. So that's great to hear that you're building those agents, tools, or that simplicity to really mine that data that might exist. And what a great time to do it, right? Early on, because you're also in that phase where you're growing. I mean, companies right now, 100-year companies are right now building those processes. So great timing, I must say. So what you build now stays forever. So thank you for sharing that. Um, I think the other thing I've kind of said that, there obviously, it's a younger workforce that's coming in. It's a multi-generational workforce that's coming in. So how do you kind of harness the energy, right? So you said, you're also, that innovation is there. So how do you yet create that culture of, staying competitive, learning, as well as balancing that with growth, individual growth as well as company growth? So was curious to know how do you balance that with the generations coming into the workforce?
Um, so
From a culture standpoint as well, like I'm just curious to know how is that panning out for you from a generation perspective?
there are two ways of looking at it, right? So how Zepto works is very clear. We are everybody in Zepto is, owning their own corner of Zepto and creating impact.
Hmm.
And don't consciously, because everybody is innovating and passionate about what they're doing, right? They
Hmm.
have their own ways of doing it, and we give them the freedom of, learning at their own pace and innovating at their own pace.
Hmm.
And there are two ways of looking at this, Jyoti. I think the generational difference can be looked at in a negative way, or we can also look at it in a positive growth aspect as well, where we can learn from each other. both
Hmm.
both generations, different generations bring their own strengths. I think it's a brilliant way of harnessing, uh, or let's say there is a good scope of harnessing their own strengths and bring business impact out of it. I think if you ask about Zepto, we are not consciously making an effort that what is the difference between, let's say, this generation, that generation, how
Hmm.
are they, learning. We are not giving it a conscious thought. It's happening
Hmm.
organically, where we are more growth oriented, and we give them the space of learning and developing and growing at their own pace, and it's happening naturally.
Yeah, no, it's great to see like that it's like an auto culture of learning being built in. So that's great. I also know you brought up, digital transformation, and that's something that, you're working on, etc. Anything around the digital transformation journey you can share uh, of how you're thinking through it, like from a skills perspective, from a jobs perspective, or just, in terms of how are you thinking of digital transformation for Zepto?
So from day one, I think Zepto has been obsessed with data,
Hmm.
automation, efficiency, and precision. So these are the basic ingredients of being always obsessed about innovation and technology. And we all and our technology department also wants to uh, constantly stay ahead of the technology curve and get the best tech stack, latest tech stack for Zepto, so that our business um, efficiency and precision is at par, and our tech is supporting our business growth. So
Hmm.
um, as a part of that, I think as and when the technology and our tech is also helping different departments, not just
Yeah.
uh, within the technology department, different departments as well, to absorb the concept of AI data, and how will that um, add value to their own departments, and how
Hmm.
can we leverage data, let's say, in different functions in HR, talent acquisition, finance, growth, business, right? So we are constantly interacting with technology, all these departments. So as a part of that, digital transformation is happening as a part of business expansion.
Okay.
So and apart from that, anybody who's interested as well, I think our data science teams and our technology teams are very gracious to take different conduct different sessions, courses, external speakers who come in and conduct sessions that help people upskill themselves.
Oh, yeah, I know. I noticed the blog as well. So I think they're doing a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, they're doing a lot also to promote that, culture of, technology and, technology transformation, etc. So that's always good to hear. Um, of course, needless to say, I'm sure it's a high pressure with so much innovation. Just the word quick commerce, and with so much innovation, there's a lot of pressure, and it's an ever-changing environment. And uh, what might be some, things that you might have thought of, or the team is thinking of to make sure that you fuel performance without burnout? Just thought I'll ask you that. I don't know if you all are thinking in that direction, but it is a very fast moving environment. So is there something that you all have thought of, or is how do you think from a future standpoint that might evolve?
Absolutely. Good question, Jyoti. I think in Q-commerce, everything is at 2x the speed.
Yeah.
As a part of that, I think, uh, the talent naturally, it's very easy to get swept away by the pace.
Yeah.
But one thing that personally I have seen really works is hardcore prioritization. It's very easy to do everything fast every time, but prioritization works very well, where you can strike a balance between delivering the right impact at the right pace where it's required, right? So that's something that I stand by, and I kind of encourage my teams to employ this as well whenever there is a massive scale up that's required. So apart from that, we also support our employees through different wellness programs. We consciously, build a culture of, going out there, ensuring that they are, taking care of themselves. So that um, holistic thought is there in the leadership, where it's not just work but also long term sustainability as well. There are multiple aspects required for people to ensure that the same what do you say, uh, it's sustainable basically. So for that reason, I think all these things are employed, and we also are a huge advocate of mental wellness, and we have tie-ups with different partners where folks can book their own sessions and talk to right counselors, so that they take action before burnout. So that's something that consciously we have started doing from last year.
Thanks a lot for sharing. I think probably I'm going to try and uncover this. What's the secret sauce for being able to attract and have so many ingrown leaders? I think a lot of people might benefit from that. So, what's the secret sauce of getting that talent, uh, as well as obviously retaining and making sure that they grow within the firm?
I don't want to sound poetic about it, but then we hire people for their potential. We just don't look at the resume. Um, so that's, and we always, uh, you know, are a little unconventional when we are hiring. So we don't put people in a box, and we want to go after the folks who are right for us, the people who are right for us, not just we don't end up hiring just a bunch of skills. So I think that's worked out for us. It's been we know what is the right fit for Zepto, and we go after those folks. So I think that is what has worked. I hope I was able to answer the
Yeah,
question.
yeah, no, perfect. I can imagine the amount of applications sometimes because there's so much excitement on the platform. I can just about imagine how tough the job is. There must be so many inbound applications and so many people trying to reach out. So I'm sure the human skills in the job will continue to remain as important as you go through the next phase and grow beyond the IPO stage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I really love the conversations, Jyoti. I think we should catch up outside as well.
For sure. No, for sure. With that, Imanchi, I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies. It was really packed with insights. You know, what I've understood is that scaling fast, staying agile, and using AI, of course, to hire smarter, and also making skills the real currency. And the truth, perhaps, is that talent isn't just part of the business plan. It is the plan. We know that markets will shift, products will change, but the people you bet on is what I have learned is that they will decide how far you go. So thank you, Anusha, and thank you, Jyoti, for this very wonderful, wonderful conversation. And thank you all for watching Talent in Talks. We'll be back with more voices, more ideas, and more ways to win the talent. Because in this game, talent isn't everything, it is the only thing.